Right, so welcome to another episode of Warhammer 40,000. It's 2,000 points, it's 8th edition, and it's Challenger Scorpion. Dark Angels will be fighting the Necrons across this urban terrain just here. Buildings and craters all across the table. A Necron Scourge, led by Tamun'Ra himself, has encroached here in this sector, and the Dark Angels have been sent in to eradicate their foe. Alright, so welcome to this 2,000 points game, Necrons versus Dark Angels. So for Necrons here, I'm going to run the Necrons at 2,000 points, and it is a battalion detachment, so it's battle forged as well, so 6 command points available for them. It's an army that's performed well, but they're not invincible for sure, and it'll be a new test for them as they fight against Dark Angels. Now, Tamun'Ra leads the force. That's the first HQ, has a war scythe. Second HQ is a Cryptek with Staff of Light, and then 2 fast attacks here. It's 2 units of 9 Canoptic Scarabs. They'll be interesting to use, quite a good distracting unit. Then 2 monoliths. Here's nice symmetry to the army here for the Necrons. 2 monoliths, they are expensive, but they're quite durable and their firepower is pretty good. Then across here, a Ghost Ark. And then troops, 3 units of troops, 2 units of warriors, 1 unit of 10 for the Ghost Ark, 1 unit of 11, just the way the points have worked out. And then here, a unit of 10 Necron Immortals with Gauls Blasters. The Ghost Ark just there, and then 5 Necron Wraiths as well. There it is, 2,000 points. We'll see how well they do against the Dark Angels here. We'll take a look and see what Phil Marshall has brought along. So, Dark Angels have featured on the channel before. It was a couple of years ago. It was an army that Ben had, but now a new debut army here, a very nicely painted up Dark Angels army by Phil Marshall. They'll be used in this game to take on the Necrons. Alright, so Phil Marshall's come down. He's a regular here at SSWG Wargames Club, and we've been meaning to play a Dark Angels game for a long time, but finally the army is available, and Phil's going to run through what he's got.
Okay, this is my 2,000 points Dark Angels army. We've got 2 detachments here. Battalion detachment, first of all. HQ is Belial. He's got the Sword of Silence and the Stormbolter. We've got a company master here, chainsword and mastercrafted bolt gun with the relic blade. We've got troops choices of Primaris Marines, 5-man squads, 2 of, and the third troops choice is scouts. They've all got sniper rifles, they've all got camo cloaks. We've got the elites, which are the Deathwing Knight squad, standard loadout, Deathwing Knight and the Knight Master. And fast attack is the Raven Wing Bike Squad with a sergeant. 2 bikes have got special weapons. One's got a multi-melter, one's got a plasma gun. And then another detachment is the Spearhead detachment. So that's the 3 heavies, and the HQ is a Librarian on a bike with a Vindicator, a Whirlwind, and also, we've got 2 flyers in the battalion detachment, the Dark Talon and the Nephilim Jet Fighter. And the third heavy detachment, part of the heavy detachment, is the Primaris Hellblaster squad.
Alright, so there it is. Phil's Dark Angels here, and Raven Wing will make an appearance as well. So great to see 2,000 points of them. And debuting on the channel here, Primaris Marines as well. One of the units equipped with Hellblasters here. So nasty stuff from them. Be interesting to see how well they do. Beautiful miniatures that have been produced here for 8th edition, and they'll make their appearance in the colours of the Dark Angels. So we'll go on to scenario and deployment now for these 2 forces. Right, so the scenario is a retrieval mission here. There's 4 objectives on the table. It's hammer and anvil deployment. The Dark Angels will be at this end, So one objective just here within their deployment zone, one objective across the other side. So they will secure 2 right from the start. These were placed before the map was chosen. Then across here is the no man's land. There's an objective just there. That's about 6 inches away from the Necron line. You can see the line of dice there where they will deploy, and then there is one here that the Necrons can hold on to. The 4th objective is just there. Linebreaker is available. Slay the Warlord and First Blood in this game as well. We'll go on to deployment next. We'll start alternating placing units on the board. Right, so just to mention the battle mat that we're using here, it's by gamemat.eu. This is one of their urban mats that they use. 6x4, perfect for games of Warhammer 40,000. And you can see here it's sort of an urban feel to it here. It's made from mouse mat material. It's nice and soft for figures and for dice rolling. And then they put another material on top, which the print design goes on. And then we simply roll the mat out. It sits nice and flat. And then the terrain goes on top. And then we put rocks and stones just there. But that is the mat that we're using. You can check them out. It's gamemat.eu. Alright, so deployment done for both sides here. Dark Angels quite at home in this ruined Imperial city, preparing to flush out the Necrons from every building. So Dark Talon flyer deploying here, then Vindicator just at the back, one of the Primaris Marine squads just there. Then on top of the Imperial Firebase is the Hellblaster squad they've deployed just there. Captain next to them just to lend some support. And then round the other side, the Primaris Marine squad just there, the second squad. Then the Librarian on the bike, just there. Then the Ravenwing Biker squad deploying just here in the rubble. Scouts just here, nice camo cloaks on them, nicely camouflaged here in this terrain. Nephilim Jet Fighter in the corner, getting ready to move out, and then the Whirlwind as well. And that's equipped with Vengeance launchers. So Necrons up this end. So there's a bit of a spread here all the way across the table for the Dark Angels. So just preparing to meet the Necrons, whatever angle they come. I think we'll need to go aggressive with the Necrons. It's difficult. I don't want to have units isolated on the table. There's a fair bit of firepower here that the Dark Angels can use, plus they have units that can deep strike in. But one unit of Scarabs is anchoring this side here next to the objective. Then Wraiths in the middle. Not sure what direction to send them yet, just depends on what occurs. And also got to be careful, obviously, of the deep strikers turning up as well. Ghost Ark just here. Necron Warriors on the top floor. And then underneath, the Immortals. And in the shadows in there is Tamun'Ra and the Cryptek. A unit of the Scarabs as well next to them. And that's it for the Necrons. So reserves, the 2 monoliths are in the upper atmosphere. They'll descend down turn 1 onwards. The 10 Necron Warriors are inside the Ghost Ark. Then for the Dark Angels, the Deathwing Knights have gone into reserve, so they can teleport in, and then Belial as well. Just using this miniature here, but paying the full price to use the stats for Belial just there. Just to mention Psychic powers, Smite obviously here for Librarian, and then Mind Worm and Aversion, special powers that the Dark Angels have access to. I think that's everything done. We've covered all of the units here. So a broad deployment here by the Dark Angels. Great to see Primaris Marines being used. They're sort of in more of a central position here. Be interesting to see how well they perform in this game. And then the Necrons preparing to move out. We'll go on to the first turn of the game. It should be the Dark Angels. I'm going to roll dice here to see if we can seize the initiative. It is a 2. No, we'll leave it. I think we'll leave it. That's okay. We'll let the Dark Angels make their moves and make their mistakes. We'll go on to the first turn of the game here. Dark Angels turn 1 coming up next. so we're on the first turn here. Dark Angel's preparing to move. Phil just thinking about how to move them. So the question is, what does he do? Does he go after the Necrons? Does he wait for them to come? The game will obviously revolve around the objectives here. Securing one. The one across there. Necrons potentially hold two. Now, it is difficult. Necrons have the same conundrum as well. Do they attack and take the fight to the Dark Angels, or do they try and dig in and hold? Both armies could try and hold two objectives each, and it will go down to other points like First Blood. That's definitely a point worth trying to take. Slay the Warlords available may be difficult for both sides to achieve that. And then Line Breaker means they will need to get units from one end of the table to the other. To be quite tactical, this game here. Not sure whether to go aggressive with the Necrons or not, but they'll have to wait here. We'll watch and see what the Dark Angels decide to do. Surely they'll be aggressive to cleanse this Necron filth from this sector. Okay, so movement here for the Dark Angels and Deathwing as well. Bikers moving out down the road. Sort of cautious move. Both sides really. Scarabs could strike. Bikers dangerous as well, so I think both sides are going to be quite cautious. Got to time charges right here with whoever goes first. Whoever charges gets to go first. That's the crucial point now in 8th edition. Snipers readjusting, some of them going upstairs here with an angle across in that direction. Nephilim jet fighter bombing up the table in this direction here. Holding position with the Primaris Marines just there and the Hellblasters. Then stasis bomb dropped here by the Dark Talon. Took out 5 of the Necron warriors just here with mortal wounds coming through. So that was the first strike coming in just there. Vindicator moving forwards. Primaris Marines moving forwards onto the objective as well. So it's not an all-out assault here, but some aggression being shown by the Dark Angels for sure. Movement's almost finished. We're just waiting to see if Phil brings in Belial and the Terminators as well or not. We'll see. And if they do turn up, where they will go. Okay, so Deathwing Knights have turned up. Phil contemplating whether to bring them down or not, but he has gone for it. They've landed here. Belial just behind them there. So whether they'll get a charge off, we'll have to see. They may do against the Ghost Ark potentially, or even the Wraiths that are just back there. That is movement finished. So we've seen a first strike here from the Flyer. Pretty good. That's a one-use only bomb. It doesn't... Okay, so it won't be back again. The bomb, at least. But the Flyer moving there. So movement phase finished. A measured approach here, I think, from the Dark Angels. And they're still awaiting... I think that's all reserves for yours. All in. So all Dark Angels are on the board. Necrons still have 2 monoliths, over 700 points worth to arrive from the sky. We'll go on to Psychic phase next for the Dark Angels on turn 1. Yeah, all right, so just checking ranges here. There's no psychic powers to use. Everything's out of range. So that's psychic phase done. On to shooting next for the Dark Angels on turn 1. Right, so 2d3 shots. That's 3 shots. Oh, yeah, cock dice. Okay, so that's 4 shots coming through here. This is the Whirlwind firing here. Just rolling up to see how many shots are available. Target is the Scarabs. I don't need line of sight, so the shots can come down. Brilliant range here. Look at the distance that the Whirlwind can fire. Yeah, freeze. Yeah.
2.
Okay, and then we want 2s to wound here against these. 2 come through. -1 on the save, so no saves allowed. That's 4 points damage. That is a base and a wound taken. So not bad there from the Whirlwind. Instantly starting to pick away at the Necrons there. Okay, so Nephilim jet fighter here. What's the name of the rockets firing at the...
Black Sword missiles.
Black Sword missiles, right. They're going against the Wraiths, and the rest of the shooting, the Bolters, the Avenger Gatling Cannon, will go here. So, plus, they're both hit, yes, because it's...
1 hit.
Just the one. Oh, yes. -1 for heavy, and then +1 for ground target. So 1 hit coming through.
Strength 7?
Yep, so 3s to wound with toughness 5. It doesn't.
6 shots.
So 3s to hit here, 6 shots with the heavy bolter. That's good shooting, 1 miss. And then it'll be on 3s to wound here, strength 5, toughness 3. So 3s to come through. Pretty good, yeah, it's 4. Don't think we get cover here because we're not wholly within the ruin, so there's no saves I can make actually. So that is a whole base and another wound dealt out on here. So Avenger Mega Bolter firing through 10 shots here at this range. Again, needing 3s to hit the ground target. A lot of firepower can come from this Flyer. Strength of this one? 6 probably, yeah, okay, so 2s to wound these scarabs here. Oh, 3 of them, so it's another base. There's a minus on the AP.
-1.
-1, that'll do. Another base gone. They've been picked on here. Scarabs being destroyed. Okay, so snipers, a couple of shots from them. They did move. They hit one of the Necron warriors all the way across there, but no wound being picked up. Belial fired, got 2 hits, but failed to wound from him as well. All right, so 30-inch range here with the Hellblasters. Not used to this. Primaris Marines with their improved weaponry. So take it freeze to hit here, re-rolling 1s. Re-roll 1, okay. Missed, but saved. Is it supercharge you're going for?
No.
No, alright, okay. So, strength 7, I take it. So, freeze to wound here. Yes, and then it's just a wound coming through. It's just damage 1 on the regular. Okay, so 1 wound taken on the Ghost Duck. Right, so range 24 here with the Vindicator. This could be painful.
So, D3?
Yeah, D3 shots. 2. Did move, so be forced to hit with 2 shots coming through. Just firing straight up the road here. Double hit. Nice. It's AP -3, so that goes straight through the armour. It rolls to wound here. You'll be on freeze to wound.
Okay. 2.
1 goes through.
I'm going to use a command point to reroll that one.
Sure. Okay, so 3+.
No,
No, still a 1. Okay. Right, so D6 points of damage. There's a 3. We're going to roll this dice. If we get a 1 or a 2, we'll ignore the damage coming through. Roll a 1. So quantum shielding kicking in and protecting the Ghost Duck just there. Alright, so Primaris Marines firing through. They're just behind here. 2 of them in range. Did cause a wound, but we rolled a 6 to save on regular armour there for the Ghost Duck. So it's enduring well here. It's only lost a wound so far. Just look around to see if there's any more shooting here for the Dark Angels. Okay, rapid fire Hurricane Bolters here coming through. From here, it's going to target the... who are you going after? Necron Warriors. Yeah, trying to go for first blood.
Hurricane Bolter going there.
Yes.
The Rift Cannon is going to shoot at the Ghost Arc.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so start with the...
Hurricane Bolters?
Hurricane Bolters, yeah. So a fistful of dice coming through. I'm impressed with the fighters here for the Dark Angels. Pretty good. Yeah, so 2 to hit ground targets here. They're not affected by heavy. They're rapid fire. And strength 4, toughness 4. So 4s to wound. If you can wipe the unit out, it'd be good here. Prevent the reanimation protocols from happening. So 4 pluses here. Let's see if we can keep them alive. They've lost 5. Yes, thanks to the 11th man. That's kept them alive. There's 1 left. Dear, dear, dear. Oh dear, so we'll remove 5 of them. But the squad's been decimated here. Bits blown all over the ruins here. Right, so heavy D3, 1 shot coming through. This is the Rift Cannon now, firing into the Ghost Arc.
Getting on 3s on this one.
Oh yes, yeah, freeze to hit.
That's hit.
Nice hit. Okay, so strength 10. So it will still be freeze to wound. Freeze to wound. There's a 6, yep, and it's -3, so it goes straight through. So just roll up your damage now with that weapon.
Damage.
3 damage straight up, okay. So just rolling up here, extra damage that comes through from the Rift Cannon here. So a 5, yes. So that's another D3 mortal wounds. It's a nasty hit here. Oh, a 6. 6 wounds in total. Yeah, we've just been checking the rules there for quantum shielding. It's unsafe wounds from an attack. So the Rift Cannon scored the damage there. It was all part of the same attack. So 6 wounds in total. That means that we're going to roll up here for quantum shielding. On a 1 to 5, we'll ignore this hit coming through. Quantum shielding, bizarre as it is. Oh dear, look at that. It's a cock dice. It is a 1. Okay, so we ignore the round coming through the Rift Cannon, the quantum shielding blocking that attack. So shooting phase finished here. Pretty impressive with the flyers. They've gone on the aggressive here against the Necrons. You can imagine them low altitude, strafing through and winding through these streets here, firing on targets as they go. Necron Warrior's been decimated on top. It's an obvious target there, open to the flyers' attacks just there. And then Scarabs have been picked on mercilessly here as well. Before the Necrons have even had a chance to move, they've been strafed here by Dark Angel flyers. And a potential charge now. Other firepower that's come through has been Not as much. It's a longer range here, but even from that, damage is being caused even from an extreme range as well. We'll go on to assaults. We'll see who the Deathwing Knights want to charge. Okay, so charge has gone ahead. 3 wounds taken there on Overwatch, and then 3 saves made of 3+. It's a no-nonsense unit here with these Terminators. They have made it into combat here against the Ghost Ark. Phil rolled up and got a 10. So we do have a combat here. The Deathwing Knights will fight against the Ghost Ark. Phil will get to go first. He's just working out his attacks here. It probably is pretty nasty. Right, so Mace of Absolution. Okay, 8 attacks with them. This is weaponry we're not accustomed to here, but Phil knows how to use them. So freeze to hit. Yeah, there's a couple of misses there. That's a miss as well. So 5 in total. Now these are ×2 strength, so we're looking at strength 8, toughness 6. So freeze to wound here, and the damage they can cause is pretty horrendous. They all go through. Oh, this is very, very bad here for the Necrons.
-2.
-2. So we could save these on a 6, and we will need to, I think. Otherwise this Ghost Ark's going to be finished off. We save 1. Well, that's 12. That's 12. That leaves us on 1 wound.
Yeah, 3 damage.
Yeah, so you've almost got your first blood here. It's all down to the boss here. So Flail of the Unforgiven, hitting on 3s here. Okay, they've all hit. Oh no, we're going to lose the Ghost Ark. All I can say is I hope it detonates once you... Oh no, it goes straight through. So you've got a wound. 3+ to wound, I think. +2, no, 4s. 4s to wound, yeah, strength 6, toughness 6. Just the one. There's one he needed.
I can use a reroll to make sure of it.
Oh no, that would do. No, you reduce it down. There's nothing we can do to protect ourselves. It's AP minus...
AP -3.
It is -3. We can't stop it. There's nothing we can do about it. You've destroyed it. It's gone. First blood picked up here. Nasty, nasty Terminator unit has destroyed the Ghost Ark. I'm going to roll a dice here to see if we can detonate this thing. It would be...
It's going to go in real life.
No, I'm not going to use a stratagem here. We'll keep that for another time. But Ghost Ark destroyed. That's a good move there. An excellent result. And a brilliant unit of Terminators there. They are very, very good indeed. All right, so we've left the Ghost Ark there. I've just shifted it out of the way so we can put the Necron Warriors just there. But we'll leave that on just for display, but it won't count for any terrain or line of sight blocking or anything like that. Okay, so combat's resolved here. Excellent result here for the Deathwing Knights. They've smashed their way through and they have destroyed the Ghost Ark just there. So well done to Phil. It's good tactics. The charge could easily have failed, but it did go ahead in the end. So turn 1 finished. The Dark Angels have certainly made their mark in this game. Necrons need to recover themselves and then start the attack. Or start an attack of their own. They've got to take the fight to the Dark Angels. Can't accept that kind of viciousness and just stand by. We need to go on the offensive here. So prepare to see the Necrons make their move. It's their turn 1 coming up next. The Dark Angels look up to the sky and see monoliths potentially descending down. We'll go on to turn 1 now for the Necrons. Alright, so movement here for the Necrons on their first turn. They're attempting to get going here. Dark Angels have had a pretty good first turn. So Scarabs moving out. I've got to go on the offensive with them, so they've moved. Passing morale, we did do a check for them, they're okay. Monoliths restricted, they have to be over 12 inches away from enemy units when they land. Couldn't land anywhere near here or here. It's all just within 12 of these units. Just the sheer size of the monoliths has prevented them from descending behind. But we've landed them here instead. They'll be able to land and provide some nice fire support here against the flyer, also the Deathwing Knights. This one here has a good angle towards them. This one can fire at the flyer just over there. Then around here, tragically, I had to do a morale test for the one Necron Warrior that was on top here. He died, or he fled, failing morale there, rolling a 2. Plus casualties made it 11, so he's removed and gone. There's no reanimation possible. These 10 Necron Warriors are the ones that got out of the transport. They've gone up a level just to there. The Immortals just here, advancing forwards, Cryptek in amongst them. And then Tamun'Ra stands by the window, potentially ready to charge against these. He may let, or may command his warriors and Immortals to fire first, and then he may go in with the War Scythe and finish them off. Chance for a Slay the Warlord as well here, with the Wraiths jumping up and over the Bastion just here and ready to charge into Belial just there. And then Scarabs, we've done an advanced move with them. They have moved just to there. Just remembering an advanced move done with them, rolled a 3, so they've moved a few more inches further forward to not be able to charge this turn. So that is movement done. No Psychers here for the Necrons. Will go on to their shooting phase next on turn 1. A lot happening already in this game. I thought the two sides would stand off from each other for quite a while, but no, a lot has taken place already. Now it's the Necrons' chance to try and equal the game up. Alright, so my will be done. Necron Overlord Tamun'Ra commands the Necron Immortals here to fire through the window and blast these Deathwing Knights here. So 2s to hit, thy will be done. 2 misses, 3 misses, just for a couple of 1s. 3s to wound now. It's 20 shots to start off with. There's a few that have failed, but that is a good roll. Phil has to make a lot of saves here. 14 saves. It's -2, but it'll go to his invuln save with the shields. So 14 saves are 3+. They're 2 wounds each, but we can expect 1 or 2 of them at least to be brought down here. Okay, so here they come. And there's 1s and 2s there. Well, not too bad. No, 1, 2, 3. That could have been a lot worse. Okay, so
1 died and 1 wound.
Yeah, 1 brought down and 1 wound. Right, so Necron Warriors are going to fire as well. Need to freeze. Then force to wound. Not too amazing, but it will force 7 saves here. 7 saves are 3+. Oh no, yeah, 5 wounds. That's 1 model and 2 more as well. So just 1 left. So that's painful there. Tamun'Ra prepares his War Scythe. It's been sharpened, but we may have a monolith fire down and put you out of your misery first. Yeah. Okay, so this monolith here, we're going to fire down here. We're actually going to go after this flyer. So we're going to fire heavy 6 with the particle whip. All weapons are going to fire at it. We are within range 24. 5s and 6s, just the 1. Could have been wasted here. Strength 8, this one, so it does wound. It's AP -2, so 5 up save. And it drops to, oh, it's passed on a 6, well done. Alright, so Flux Arcs now, needing 5s. It's dismal, it is a dismal round here. 5s to wound. 2 6s though, 2 wounds come through. They're -2 as well, so 5s and 6s to save. No, alright, it's just 2 wounds dealt out on the flyer. Alright, so 8 wounds remaining here on the flyer. We'll go on to the next monolith, I think. Alright, so monolith will fire down the road here at the bikers. So driving up thinking the road was clear ahead, and then a monolith descends down to ruin their crews up this Imperial street. So 4s to hit these with the particle whip. It's a poor round here. And toughness is 5, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so just the 1 wound coming through. Phil will get a save here of 5+. She fails. Okay, so it's D3 damage, just the 1. We'll re-roll this. We'll use up I think 2. That'll do. So that's the biker gone. So that's 1 model gone. We'll fire the Flux Arcs down here as well. in a rotating pattern of fire. 4s to hit. That's better. It's averaged itself out. 4s to wound, actually, strength 5. So saves here of 5+, 3 of them required. It saves 1, but it's another biker gone. Alright, and that is the end of shooting for Necrons. Not too bad. 2 bikers brought down, could have been a lot better, but 2 of them removed. Their toughness 5 and 2 wounds helping them out. And then some moderate damage here against the fly, not much really at all. So Necrons, monoliths have failed to impress really. But we have decimated the knights here, so that's a pretty good result. We'll go on to charges here. Tamun'Ra will seek to charge into combat, possibly the Necron warriors as well. Immortals available to shoot. In fact, Staff of Light will fire first of all. There's a little bit of shooting left. So freeze to hit with this one. 1 hit. No wound on a 1. Alright, so that is shooting completely finished. We'll go on to assaults now. Think about what we can charge with here for the Necrons. Alright, so charges have taken place. Necron warriors have charged, and so has Tamun'Ra. They've all made it into combat there against the last Deathwing Knight. And then across here, surrounding Belial, you can hardly see him, but he's tucked in there amongst the wraiths. So opportunity for the Necrons here to take out some of the elite units here. I'll finish off this unit at least, and then also to slay the Warlord possibility. Also, we'll go on to combat resolution next. Make a start then. Tamun'Ra will go first here. Tamun'Ra will go first. We'll make sure he goes first. So we want to go for 2s to hit here with the War Scythe. We'll take a stratagem here. Reroll. Does hit. So then we are on strength 7, so freeze to wound. 2 do go through. So Phil needs to make some saves here. 2 saves of 3+, otherwise there's trouble. Oh, he saves both. Well done. The shield holding there. The War Scythe scythes into the shield, sparks flying, but the Deathwing Knight protects himself and now prepares to lash back with his weapon. Necron Warriors next. Horrendous from them. And then, oh, there's another one. 4s, 2 saves here. Let's try and knock the armour down. No, passed there with the Terminator armour. So holding here, and Phil can fight back. One more charger to go. That's the Wraiths fighting here. Alright, so Wraiths fighting here. Parrying blade special rule. It's -1 to hit for fighting Belial. So we're on 4s. Still not bad. Can't complain about that. That's pretty good. So those are all misses. He's prevented 3 hits from coming through. Then strength 6, so we'll be on freeze to wound. So a fair few have failed, but there's 4 saves to make there, and it's AP -1, so he'll drop to a 3+ save. So freeze to prevent these wounds from coming through. Oh, very good. I take it you have a 2+ save to start off with.
Yes, it's got 2+, and there's 4 up.
Right, okay, that's fine. It's not a scratch here on Belial. We're going to check the rules to see if he's allowed to escape from combat. He is surrounded here. Is he allowed to move through a unit that surrounds him? We'll have to check that out. But we'll let Phil fight back here with both of these. So they've survived here, not a scratch on either one. Alright, so Belial first of all. 2s to hit. Yes, they will do. Strength 5, so be on 4s to wound. 2 go through. 3+ invuln. Oh, come on. Oh dear. Okay, so that's a Wraith gone, and then a wound taken as well. Belial fights here and slays one of the Wraiths, the sword going for its chest. So that's good fighting from Belial there. Well done to him. Now it's the Terminator down here fighting for his life. So freeze to hit here with the Knight Master with his mace, a flail of...
Flail of the Unforgiven.
The flail of the Unforgiven. Tamun'Ra Unforgiven here and about to be flailed.
I'm going to reroll that.
2 hits. Oh, he's going to use up a... Okay, yes. So 3+ to reroll this one here.
Don't be...
Come on. Okay, it's gone through, yeah. Strength 6 coming through, so freeze to wound here. Oh. Just the 1. So it's AP -3. We'll go to our 4+ invuln save with Tamun'Ra. We do not have a reroll available. That goes through. Wounds?
2 damage.
2 damage. Alright, so Tamun'Ra takes 2 damage. Tenacious Survivor, actually. No, he's not. Okay, so 2 wounds come through. So that's the fight taking place there. 2 wounds dealt out on Tamun'Ra. And then the Deathwing Knight remains alive. So those 2 locked in mortal combat and it's going well for the Deathwing Knight at the moment. And then whilst we're zoomed in, you can see this combat taking place here. Belial, or the figure that's standing in for him here, fighting away against the Wraiths. So that is combat's resolved here. It's gone better for the Dark Angels. I think the game's in their favour at the moment. Necron's a bit out of shape, taken some serious casualties. They've lost their transport here. Unit of Necron warriors gone, some damage coming through. But Terminator's been hammered here, just one of them left, and the commander locked down in combat. We'll go on to the second turn now. So what the Dark Angels decide to do. Do they push on aggressively here, or just hang back and see what the Necrons do? Some choices to make now. We'll go on to the second turn now for the Dark Angels. Okay, so movement done here for the Dark Angels on their second turn. Primaris Marines moving onto the objective and securing that for now. Did you move further up with this one? The Vindicator?
Okay, stay where it is.
Stay where it is. Ah, right, so you'll be on +1 to hit. Hellblasters, yeah, all remain stationary. Captain just moving forwards a few inches. Bikers, shift of direction from them. They've scooted round in this direction here with those. Then Nephilim Jet Fighter pivoting and flying across the table. I see what he's doing. Yeah, he's going after the Scarabs just here. Some horrendous firepower that thing can let loose. He's getting ready to strafe these. Melee continues here with the Deathwing Knight, and then Belial in combat as well. Those two melees continue. Dark Talon pivoting and moving around here. These two flyers moving around this sector here, just laying down fire support. Pretty impressive from them so far. Snipers positioning on the top of the roof just here with their camo cloaks, and they're holding position here with the Hellblasters and this squad of Primaris Marines. Whirlwind holding position as well. That is movement done for the Dark Angels as they seek to cope with this Necron army. They're doing well at the moment. We'll go on to their Psychic phase. So, yeah, there's nothing here for Psychic phase, so we will now go on to Shooting phase for the Dark Angels on turn 2. Alright, so Whirlwind's fired already, excellent round, 6 shots rolling, Phil rolling up well for a number of shots coming through, and targeting the Scarabs again. Brilliant result there, just the wounds coming through, couldn't stop it, can't hide them, and we've lost 4 bases. It was 10 wounds in total, so one of them with 2 wounds was removed, and then another 9, that's 3 more bases. So they're gone, just 2 of them left. Their effectiveness cut right down now. So Whirlwind doing well there, just picking away. Scarabs seems to be the ideal target for it. Right, so snipers across the other side of the battlefield here, firing down, and they're going to fire at these. Yeah, okay, the Immortals. So forced to hit because Phil moved. Yep. So, Roger's rolling up to wound here. 6, that's good, that's wounded. And a mortal wound.
Yes, there's 2.
Okay, so one of them killed, can't stop the mortal wound. And then we'll do our armour save. Okay, 1. Right, that's it. Passed because +1 cover for the ruin. So we've passed that just about. We've used up another command point there. But mortal wound does come through and kills one of those. Even the invuln save can't stop that. Alright, so Dark Talon's going to fire next down at this monolith. Going to let rip with everything it has. We're going to try and pick up some wounds. So freeze to hit here because of targeting unit that can fly. So Phil just rolling up here. We'll take away the misses. So it'll be on strength 4, toughness 8. So it will be 6s.
6s. What was it
Oh,
in there?
no, it's decent. Okay, so 5 saves to make of 3+. A wound taken. 1 wound comes free. So next is the Rift Cannon. Heavy D3, 2 shots. Freeze to hit.
2 hits.
Okay. Just the 1 hit then coming through. -1 to hit for being a heavy weapon. So 1 hit comes through. Strength 10. Freeze to wound. It does.
-3.
-3. Alright. So roll up, see if we can get a save here. Oh, we do. The 6 blocks that. So Nephilim jet fighter now strafing the little scarabs. Rapidly becoming an endangered species here on this sector. so
3's to hit because it's heavy, but I get +1 to hit a ground target.
okay, so 2s.
No, 3's.
3s. Okay. So this is
Avenger Megavolt.
Avenger Megavolt. Okay, decent enough. Strength 6, so 2s to wound.
AP -1.
A couple have failed, and damage. It's
1.
just the 1. Alright, so that is a base and a wound. So scarabs being picked on here. They're taking wounds and damage. Phil making those a priority here with his flyers. Most of the time anyway. The rest of the shooting now, we've got the
Black Sword missiles. Heavy 1, so there's 2 of those.
2 shots. Okay.
Yeah.
2 hits. Okay, that's good shooting.
It's strength 7.
2s to wound.
3.
They wound, yeah, that's fine. And then damage is
2.
2. Alright, so that's 4 wounds coming through. That's a base. And then we'll put a wound just on this one here. Twin heavy bolters, the last of the shooting.
Freeze.
Yep, freeze to hit. Bad. Freeze to wound.
Strength 5.
Yep, and then -1, so we can't save that either.
1 damage each.
So 1 damage each, yeah. So that is another base gone. So that's the shooting done from the Nephilim jet fighter. Pretty good here, picking on the scarabs. Right, so shooting phase finished. Pretty good shooting here from the Vindicator, remains stationary, firing through, bringing down a number of the Immortals, and then Hellblasters targeting them as well. There's now 4 of them left. The Invuln saves helping out to some degree, but that squad has been decimated as well as they've tried to advance here against the Dark Angels. Pretty good tactics here, sending in combat units to distract the Necrons and then supporting fire from long range from the other units. Tactic seems to be working. Necrons taking some heavy damage. We've seen the damage coming through here against the Scarabs, and then these had no line of sight to any targets. It's a solid wall just here, so they couldn't see through. Across here, the Primaris Marines, range 30, just within range of the monolith. Got some hits, but no wounds, needing 6s. That is all the shooting done. Again, it's been pretty good. Not absolutely devastating from the Dark Angels, but pretty consistent, picking away at the Necrons here and causing more damage than they're receiving in return. We'll go on to combats next. So there's no fresh charges to attempt here, so we'll go straight on to the ongoing combats. There's the Dark Knight here fighting away with Tamun'Ra, and then across here as well, Belial fighting the Wraiths. So he's going to fight Tamun'Ra here, needing 3s to hit. Oh, that is good fighting. 3s to wound. Just the 1. Stratagem time? I think so, yeah. Okay, so 3+. No, just the 1 comes through. It's AP -3, so we'll take a 4+ Invuln save, which we fail.
2 damage.
2 damage. Okay, we'll maybe try and save that here. Alright, so just attempted a reroll there by using a stratagem. We've got 1 left now, and failed there. I've just rolled a 3. So 2 more wounds taken on Tamun'Ra. That's almost killed him. He's in a bad shape here against this knight. We might have to just pull out of combat after this and try and live here. And then use living metal to gradually piece ourselves back together again. So we're on -1 to hit here. We'll fight against the Wraiths next. It's our turn to choose a combat. So we need 4s. Oh, just reducing their effectiveness by a lot. 3s to wound. 2 wounds do come through. It's -2. So 3+ to save. No, 2 wounds taken. And we've used a stratagem, yes, he's going to have to take that 2 wounds down. So fighting back now with Belial, so that is Sword of Silence, right, so 2s to hit. So 2 miss there on 2 1s. And 2 wounds do come through. Take a 3+ invuln save, which we fail both. That's horrendous. And the damage is 2 a time.
2.
Yeah, so that's the whole base and 2 wounds on another. So 4 in total. We had to remove 1 whole model and then put 2 wounds on another. So another Wraith gone and another one on 2 out of 3 wounds. Right, Tamun'Ra now fighting. He pulls back his war scythe and seeks to find a chink in the armour of this Deathwing Knight to go for the neck. Tamun'Ra, 2 6s and a 4, and that's good. He wounds twice, so you're going to need to make saves here. There, it goes through. Can't use a stratagem here, we're still on combat phase, as much as Phil would like to. And I think the war scythe causes 2 points of damage. Yeah, so it is 2 points of damage. The Deathwing Knight has been slain here, the war scythe bursting through his chest and out the other side. So pulling the war scythe from the chest of the Terminator there, he then summons his forces to press on with their advance. It is no mercy being shown here by both sides. Right, so that's that combat resolved, and that marks the end of combats here for the Dark Angels. It's been a pretty impressive turn. We'll do some consolidation moves, a bit of morale to check as well, especially for the Necrons, so we'll do morale for them now. Okay, so leadership rolled up here. We rolled a 6, so I used up a command point and re-rolled and got a 1, thankfully. So the Immortals are still there, no further models removed. Same here for the Scarabs, they passed fine. And then across the other side, the other Scarabs, they passed around, no problem at all. It's just when you start to take sort of 6, 7, 8 casualties, it then becomes a problem. That is the turn finished. All combats have been resolved. Consolidation moves have been done. 3 inches moving up the street here with the Necron Warriors. And that is it. So we're going to go on to the second turn now for the Necrons. They're behind here. They're taking more damage than they're dishing out. They're a bit out of shape as well. Dark Angels do seem in a stronger position. The Flyers causing havoc for the Necrons at the moment, and Necron infantry numbers decimated here. Scarabs being picked on. And in the monoliths, as strong as they are, they're a bit out of place here at the moment. We'll see what the Necrons can do, if they can adjust to the situation and keep pressing on. We'll go on to their second turn next. Right, so movement here for the Necrons on their second turn. Press on with the advance here. So resurrecting a number of the Immortals, 3 of them returning, so unit of 7 now, thanks to the Cryptek. With a bit of help from him. Tamun'Ra commanding his forces to move forwards, the Necron Warriors advancing as well. Living Metal restoring a wound there on Tamun'Ra. Then the Wraiths abandoning combat here, jumping 12 and then advancing an extra inch. They've gone to there just to pose a bit of a threat to the Dark Angels. Sneaking around here at 10 inches with the Scarabs getting ready to charge the Primaris Marines, just holding on to the objective. Monoliths have began a steady advance up this street. It is wide enough for them to move up. So the 2 of them queuing up together, moving off in this direction, just preparing to lay down a hail of fire as they advance, just preparing to move up the road here and try and reduce the Dark Angels down. Scarabs, 2 bases, have gone upstairs, getting ready to charge the scouts. That's movement done for the Necrons. We'll go on to their shooting phase next. Alright, so shooting here. We'll start this monolith. It is in range of the Hellblaster squad just here. I'm going to try and Hellblast them with the monolith. So, forced to hit here with the particle. Oh, wow. We're looking pretty good here on 5 hits with 3 6s, a 5 and a 4. They'll be on 2s to wound here at strength. Always 2 1s. We will... Oh, why not? Okay, the last reroll does wound. Alright, so 4 saves here. It's -2. +1 for being in the bunker though, so 3 + 2 + drops to 4+ in total after all the modifiers. Saves none. Okay, they're 2 wounds each, aren't they? We have to roll these one at a time. It's D3 damage. First one is just a 1, so he's going to keep 1 extra alive. The next one's a 6, but it doesn't matter, it's just going to remove a whole model. Next one does take another whole model, and the last one is just a wound caused. That could have been a lot worse, but 2 Primaris, 2 Hellblasters killed, and 1 wound on another. Okay, Gauze Flux Arcs still in range. Need 4s. Okay, a lot of misses there. 3s to wound, just the 2. So 2 saves here of 4+. If any of these are fouled, then another Hellblaster is brought down here. does fail with 1. It's enough to cause another wound. Another Hellblaster has been electrocuted to death here from the monolith. Just hold it there. Phil's going to use a reroll. 4+, half a chance to keep him alive. No. Alright, so no, he's gone. Okay. So that's that shooting done. Not bad there for the monoliths. Nice suppressing fire as they advance. Targeting sort of a high priority target here. The Hellblasters have lost over half of their number. So the other monolith here, it can see, it's just there, it can see across to the Nephilim jet fighter. Just show you the angle just there, as long as part of the model can see now in 8th edition. So we have rolled up to hit and wound, as 4 of them have come through. So 5s or 6s to save, does save 2, that is helpful. And it's 2d3 damage, 3 wounds in total on the Nephilim jet fighter. Okay, so Flux Arcs next, needing 5s. Can't complain there, that's a lot of hits. Toughness 6, yeah, so 5s to wound, just 2. And they will be 5s to save these as well. So 1 and another one misses, yeah, okay, or fails. So 2 more wounds, knocking it down to 5s, half killed. So next, my will be done from Tamun'Ra across. We'll on the Immortals, so we'll fire up here. We need 2s, hard to hit 3s with these coming through. These are on 5s to wound. It's not going to be enough to bring it down. There's 3 saves here. These are -2, so it is 5+. Saves 2, that is good dice rolling there from Phil. So just 1 more wound coming through, knocking it down to 4 wounds. Necron Warriors will fire at the flyer as well, trying to remove it from place, needing 4s this time. Then we need 5s. Yeah, there's a bit of trouble there. These are -1, so these are 4+ to save here. 4 of them. If Phil fails all of these, there's almost did. Oh boy, 1 wound remaining on the flyer. It's been shot at here, flying above the Necrons. They let rip all their electrocution firepower here. Has almost brought this flyer down. See if the Cryptek can finish it off. He does get a hit. Oh boy. 5 or 6. No, and no re-rolls available, so we'll have to leave it at that. I don't think there's anything else that can fire at the flyer, but it is in a bad shape here. Pretty good shooting there from the Necron infantry units. So that actually marks the end of shooting here for the Necrons. The monoliths have fired, and we've seen the firepower coming from down here. We'll go on to assaults next. Alright, so charges going ahead here. Scarabs making it in. No damage on Overwatch there against the Primaris Marines. Tried an attempt a long-range charge, needing a 10 here with the Immortals against the Vindicator, but failed. Tamun'Ra tried to charge against Belial, but failed, perhaps wounded and slowed down. He didn't make it in, but his warriors did, and no damage from Overwatch just there. Then around the other side, actually the Scarabs made it into combat with the Scouts as well, charging upstairs. So that's charges done. Necrons on the aggressive here, make it into multiple combats. Not sure if it was wise for the Warriors to fight against Belial, but we'll go on and get these resolved next. So combat's resolved here. 2 Primaris Marines brought down. Loads of saves required with the Scarab striking first. Then in return we lost a base and took a wound, just with 2 attacks each there with Primaris Marines. A bit tougher than regular Space Marines just there. Morale done for both of these units, they're fine. Hellblasters morale held on a reroll. Phil rolling a 6 to start off with. Then down here, Necron Warriors, they took 4 casualties. No, not 4. They took 3 casualties here. Their morale's held. It's all been rolled up for, and they did cause a wound. They went first and did cause a wound on Belial just there. So he's on 3 wounds now. Scarabs across the other side upstairs took out 3 of the Scouts and took a wound in return. Morale's been resolved for the Scouts they've held. So that is the end of the second turn here for the Necrons. They're fighting back here. Their number's knocked down, but they are fighting back. The game's definitely still on. Flyers in trouble here with 1 wound remaining. See what Phil decides to do with that. Primaris Marines fighting away to protect the objective, which is now being attacked by Scarabs, locking them down. But still the Vindicator remains ready to fire at multiple targets. And then Hellblasters, they've been damaged, but a nasty firepower reduced down from the Dark Angels as well. Bikers nearby though, so the game is definitely still open for both sides. We'll go on to the third turn next. For the Dark Angels, we'll see how they deal with the Necron threat. Look at the road here. 2 Necron monoliths slowly advancing up. 20 wounds on each. They could prove a problem. We'll see what can be done about them. We'll go on to the third turn next for the Dark Angels. So we're on the third turn here. Phil just measuring up and preparing to move. I think he's moving his flyers first. So Primaris Marines featuring on the channel for the first time. Beautiful models. Very, very nice indeed. Well equipped. They are picked on. They seem to attract attention here because they are so good. And you can see here. I was tempted to leave them alone because they're debuting on the channel, but the Necrons don't work that way. They just shoot at the nastiest threats here. Tamun'Ra allocating targets to be destroyed and being picked on here. But pretty good units, beautiful models, and so far seem tough enough. Those 2 wounds really helping them to absorb a fair amount of damage coming through. And they can fight back as well with 2 attacks each. Not too bad at all. Alright, so movement here for the Dark Angels. The flyer turns and limps off in this direction. Phil trying to keep it alive, just on 1 wound remaining. Primaris Marines are backed out of combat, tactical withdrawal from them. Vindicator holding position. Bikers moving through the gap here with the Librarian there as well. Captains move down from upstairs and getting ready perhaps to charge in to try and take out these Scarabs here, which are a blight here on the Dark Angels. Then holding position here with the Hellblasters, pulling back a couple of inches here with this squad of Primaris Marines. And then the Whirlwind there in the corner, just holding position, getting ready to launch the long-range firepower. Holding in combat here with Belial against the Necron Warriors. You should be able to hack some more of those down. And then around here, the Dark Talon, pivoting and moving up in this direction. Scouts withdrawing from combat, going downstairs, and then rolling an advanced move on top of that as well. 11 inches in total, has got them all the way down to there, trying to escape from the bugs. So that is movement phase finished. We do have psychic phase, actually. The Librarian Biker here can do something. So psychic phase down smite. It had to go against the Scarabs. They were closest and 3 mortal wounds caused, so a base of them gone. Aversion tried to be cast and failed. It was a perils result. D3 mortal wounds has been taken on the Librarian Biker just there. So a bit of a backfire there, trying to use that psychic power. Not really much accomplished by him. I wonder how many points he is.
115.
Whoa! Just to kill a Scarab base and to kill himself. So, what? How many wounds has he got?
5.
5. All right. So he's safe enough, but he's in a bit of trouble there. So with that, he may well do something else in this game. He's a character, isn't he? So he's quite well protected. So he's got a chance to do other powers. So that marks the end of the psychic phase here for the Dark Angels. We'll go on to shooting phase for them next on turn 3. Alright, so shooting phase here for the Dark Angels on their third turn. It's been pretty effective, especially with the flyers. So flyer firing down here, and then the Primary Space Marines, Bikers, Librarian, and Captain here all firing down have eliminated the Scarabs. So they're gone, but that unit has distracted them away from the Necron units up here, but still, target destroyed. Then down here, one of the Wraiths was killed. The Hellblasters firing through against that. Then around the other side, this Primaris Marine squad firing up, along with some help from the Whirlwind firing through, destroy the Scarabs that are up here. So they've all been eliminated now from the battlefield. Then excellent weapon here, the Rift Cannon firing through, has put 9 wounds in total. 2 penetrating hits came through, and the extra damage that is available for that weapon has reduced 9 wounds down on this monolith. It's almost half killed it just with 1 round of shooting from this flyer. So very impressive indeed. And that is about all the shooting done. So not a bad turn here from the Dark Angels of their third turn shooting. We'll go on to charges next. I don't think there's any charges, but we do have the ongoing combat just down here below. So 4 attacks coming through, need 2s. So then he's on freeze to wound here, strength 5. They all wound, very good. And it's AP minus 3, I think.
3.
Yeah, it is AP minus 3, so nothing the Necrons or Necron Warriors can do about that. So 3 more of them hacked down here by him. They get 4 attacks. We wounded him last time. there's 1 wound's come through, so 2+ armour for him. Oh, he's fine, alright, so he's won the combat there. That marks the end of the turn. We'll get some morale done here for these Necron warriors. They passed there. 3 casualties isn't going to be enough to make any of them run away anyway. So that's the end of the 3rd turn here for the Dark Angels. It's not going too bad for them here. They're standing up to the Necrons pretty well. Targeting, or specifically going after the Scarabs this turn and get rid of those. That's that unit gone. Wraiths still to deal with, but there's only 2 of them, so they won't be as effective as a full strength unit. And then here, Tamun'Ra's Immortals and Necron Warriors have been decimated here, but they could reassemble themselves and continue on with their advance. The living metal here as well for Tamun'Ra, so he'll lose a wound. Monoliths, they may well cause trouble here for the Dark Angels. They're a tough unit. There's 2 of them here floating up the table. They may well continue their advance up the street. We'll go on to the 3rd turn now for the Necrons. Alright, so moving for the Necrons on their 3rd turn. We've left the warriors in combat there. 2 of them have reassembled themselves and joined in the fight. Tamun'Ra urges the Necron Immortals ahead down the street here, regaining a wound himself with living metal. Cryptek just behind as well. 1 more of them has resurrected as well, so a unit of 8 of those. And then here the 2 monoliths have continued their advance, 6 inches being moved by them. And then the Wraiths just shifting to their left. We can try and silence the Vindicator here, even if we can't destroy it. If we charge it, it'll not be able to shoot next turn. That's the plan here with the Necrons. It frees up this unit here to fire at a different target. So we'll go on to shooting phase next for the Necrons on turn 3. So I'm going to fire the Cryptek down here. Didn't freeze, just the 1. And it does wound, it's -2, so 5+ save. No, alright, so 1 wound there on the Vindicator. Yeah, no, it is a wound. We've just checked. It is toughness 8. I did need that 6 to get that wound, but that has gone through. So now we'll fire the Immortals. Going to go after the Hellblaster squad here. Going to try and take those out with our Gauze Blasters. Right, so Immortals then will fire, and using my will be done here from the Necron Overlord. He wants them killed. He points up to them. There you can see him pointing with his war scythe that the Hellblasters need to go. So 2s to hit here. 2 of them are in rapid fire range. So it's actually 2s to hit. That's helped. A couple more hits come through. These are at strength 5. So 3s. He might survive here. So 5 saves to make. He's on 2+ for being in the bunker, but then -2, so it becomes 4+ here. Saves a load apart from 1. Just 1 wound. Excellent result there. The Hellblasters remain alive. Alright, so this side then, the monoliths, just thinking, I reckon Gauze Flux Arcs across here, they are in range, and then the Particle Whip will go after the Flyer just across here. So Flux Arcs first of all, we are on our normal ballistic skill, so we will need 4s. That's not bad at all. And then we'll need 3s again. These are strength 5. Yes, they all do. That's a pretty good result there. That's 8 wounds coming through. And again, it'll be a 4+ save there, AP -2. So, failing 4 of them, that's enough. Hellblasters gone. They can be removed. They may be new models here, but they still die in Warhammer 40,000. Okay, so they're gone. And then we've got the Particle Whip here to go after the Fly here. Okay, so the Dark Talon is hard to hit here, so we're on 5s. We get 2. 3s to wound, double 1, would you believe it? Okay, so no damage at all. The Flyer escapes the electrocution shots coming through from the Particle Whip. Okay, so second monolith will go after the Particle Whip, will go after the Flyer again, and then all of the Flux Arcs will go after these Scouts. Their camo cloaks almost hiding them, trying to sneak towards the objective, I think, but they're going to live to regret it here. So 4s to hit with the Flux Arcs here, and then we'll be on 3s to wound them. Yeah, 4 wounds come through. So +2 cover save, so it's 2+, but it's -2 for the Flux Arc, so 4+ on 4 dice. Saves 2 but doesn't save the other. Okay, so, and there's just 2 left yet, so Sergeant doesn't get 2 wounds, does he? I don't think so. Yeah, no, so those Scouts have been eliminated there. There seems to be nowhere to hide when the monoliths are around. They've been shot at just, they almost escaped, but they are gone. Alright, so the particle whip then, needing 5s. 3 hits here, and then 3s to wound. It's a triple wound coming through, it's -2, so 5s to save here. Oh, 2 5s and a 6. Just when you need a good dice roll, it comes through. The flyer hasn't been scratched this turn, so it's been shot at a lot. Trying to eliminate that, because that Rift Cannon is utterly deadly. It's about the best weapon on the table here for the Dark Angels at the moment, for taking on the monoliths. But it remains alive, no damage done at all, it remains on 8 wounds. Okay, so that is shooting phase finished. We do have a couple of charges to do. We'll resolve that next. Okay, so charges taking place. Tried to charge Tamun'Ra in after the Wraiths, when Wraiths did make it into combat. Did take a hit, but Invon saved them. And then Tamun'Ra tried to charge, but failed to reach, and then we didn't charge then with the Immortals. They've just held position there, just trying to keep in range of the Cryptex protection. That's it. We have an ongoing melee just over here as well. And that is about it. So we'll go into combat resolution next. Alright, so combat's resolved here. Bilal hacking down 2 more Necron warriors and then doing no damage in return with them. Wraiths, no damage there against the Vindicator either. A couple of saves being made. But that will silence that tank. That's quite deadly there. It's a nasty gun. And so the Wraiths have accomplished their mission of stopping it from firing, at least for the next turn. That marks the end of the 3rd turn here for the Necrons. Their numbers down, but they have the ability to patch themselves together again. A number of these models here have come back after being destroyed. So as long as that continues, the Necrons will remain a menace. Hellblaster's destroyed here. But still, a good number of units here, and both of the flyers still alive as well. We'll go on to the 4th turn next for the Dark Angels as they fight for survival here in this Imperial city. Alright, so moving for the Dark Angels here on their 4th turn. Flyer pivots and moves in this direction, just on 1 wound remaining with him. And then the other flyer, constantly throughout this game, they've zigzagged across, laying down a pretty decent blanket of fire. So they're excellent use of covering fire provided by these fighters here for the Dark Angels, but shifting across in this direction with this one, the Dark Talon, and then Primaris Marines have just jumped down from here. They're facing off, they are good, but they're facing off against monoliths here, so difficult task for them. Bikers lining up to go after the Wraiths, backing off with Vindicator. Primaris Marines, their order's simple, just to anchor the objective just on the corner there. And then around the other side, just the Whirlwind's just moved here. I can see why the Primaris Marines are clustering around here. They're going to dig in and try and hold on to this objective, try and survive here. Difficult task for them because up the street the monoliths are slowly but steadily advancing towards them. It's like time's ticking away here. So we'll see. But the Rift Cannon, where is that? There's the flyer. Right, there's their hope. Just here. If he has a good round of shooting, could take out one of these monoliths, and that will give the Dark Angels hope here that they can go on to victory. I think the game will depend, partly at least, on how these monoliths fare. If they survive and advance all the way up here, killing all in their path, then I think the Necrons will have victory. But if they're destroyed, if one of them's destroyed, at least then the Dark Angels stand an excellent chance of halting the Necrons here. We'll go on to Psychic Phase next for the Dark Angels on turn 4. Alright, so Smite here, it does go off on a 9. This is an excellent power here for getting rid of Invon's save Wraiths. So it's just D3 points damage, 2 wounds come through. Excellent result. The Psych has redeemed himself here, causing 2 wounds on the Wraiths. And then we've just put a green marker on there. Aversion has been cast as well, so -1 to hit on those. So really trying to pin the Wraiths down there. That's a pretty good Psychic Phase there from the Librarian. So Psychic Phase done, Shooting Phase next for the Dark Angels on turn 4. Okay, so onto the Dark Talon here. Just looking at his positioning here, the closest model, if he wants to, is Tamun'Ra. If he wants to lay down some firepower into him, then he's more than welcome. He's actually allowed to. Yep, no, just checking, just seeing if the warriors here are closer, but it's not. It is Tamun'Ra, so he can go after that character if he wishes, with any of those weapons. Or does he fire the Rift Cannon at the monolith? Choices to make here, 2 plum targets. I'll let Phil make his mind up here, just thinking about it. It's a tough choice. So he's going to hold off fire here. He's going to resolve some other shooting first of all, and then come back to this one. So I think the Primaris Marines are getting ready to fire. He's going to try and knock some wounds down this, see how much damage I think he can do, and then make a decision with the Rift Cannon. Alright, so Primaris Marines needing 6s to wound, didn't cause any just there, so their shots bouncing off the living metal of the monolith. Whirlwind fired across here at the Immortals, but no damage coming through from that. So, right, so going for a compromise here between the two. Rift Cannon is going to go after the monolith. Good chance that it could do some decent damage there, and then the bolters will go 24 shots into Tamun'Ra. There's some chance here because he's got a 3+ save, not a 2+, so wounds could come flooding in, and if he's brought down there'll be trouble for the Necrons. So what would you like to shoot at first?
I'll do that first.
Okay, right, it's going to go after Tamun'Ra here with these. So it's Hurricane Bolters you're firing?
Hurricane Bolters.
Right, okay, 24 shots.
Hitting 2s.
Oh, 2s to hit, yes, for ground target.
20.
God, I don't think Tamun'Ra's ever been hit by so many rounds in one turn. So we'll be looking at 5s to wound actually. He is toughness 5, that might help him out a bit. But there'll be a lot of saves to make yet. Alright, so total here is 5 wounds. I'm going to roll Phil's own dice here. Oh, he's passed all of them. Tamun'Ra survives here against that firepower coming through. See if the Rift Cannon fares any better. So it'd be it's D3 shots, isn't it? So 2, that's respectable enough. 3s to hit the target, or 2s maybe ground. Oh no, it's a flyer, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So just there's 2 hits. That's fine. Strength 10. 3s to wound. Oh, excellent result. -4, I think. That means it could well glide straight through the armour here. Okay, so it's -3. So chance here. We don't save. So that's 3 wounds. Each. 6 wounds in total. And then each of these are going to roll up on the chart to see if there's any extra come through. So,
no.
Nothing on the first one.
No.
Nothing on the second one. Right, okay. So that's 6 in total. That knocks him down from 12 to 6. So Monolith in trouble. Yeah, now if that firepower continues like that, the Monolith's doomed. Here it's on 6 wounds left out of 20, so it's almost 3/4 killed. Again, once again, good shooting here for the Rift Cannon. Excellent weapon the Blood Angels have here with this flyer. Okay, rest of the shooting we've resolved here. So the flyer firing through, needing 6s to hit though because of the damage, did cause 1 wound though on the Monolith, so that's now dropped to 5. So it is 3/4 dead. 1 Immortal killed here. That was firepower from the squad of Primaris Marines just here. And then the Wraiths are gone. That was the Bikers firing through and the Librarian. Good shooting from them, gradually knocking the wounds down, and they have been eliminated. So Dark Angels will be happy to see those things gone, and that means another unit lost here for the Necrons. Their numbers definitely thinned down. We'll go on to assaults. There may be some options up here to charge. Phil might want to charge some units in, possibly, and then we've got the ongoing melee there of Belial and the Necron Warriors. Alright, so charges taking place, some decent charges being made here. Distances, a reroll with the Bikers to get them in. It was the Primaris Marines that charged first, one of the number being brought down there, losing 2 wounds from the Gauls Blasters on Overwatch, but they made it in, and then the Bikers charged in as well. That'll stop the Necrons from shooting, at least on the next turn. Then across here, the melee continues, so we'll get some combat resolutions resolved now. Alright, so combats here, blow for blow really down here. The Necron Immortals doing quite well. My Will Be Done applies to them, so they're actually on 2s to hit in close combat. They took 2 casualties themselves, but then dealt out 1 wound on the Bikers, and then 1 wound on the Primaris Marines as well. So standing up for themselves just there, and then no damage done against Belial, and then 2 more Necron Warriors hewn down by his blade. That is the end of combats here. Necron's numbers knocked down, but reanimation protocols is available, and living metal will kick in as well for the Overlord and the Monolith as well. One of them severely damaged, limping forwards, the other behind. Necron units here, is it enough for them to continue their attack? We'll see. We'll go on to their turn next. Alright, so Necron movement here on turn 4. It's been a good turn for reanimation protocols. 4 more Necron warriors reassemble here and join in the fight against Belial. 3 more reassemble here, so back to a squad of 9 here with the Immortals resurrecting just there with the help of the Cryptek needing 4+. Tamun'Ra moves around to lend help now. He was just out of range of heroic intervention on the previous round of combat. Cryptek's manoeuvred himself between the 2 units now to grant the benefit to both of them once again. Across here, Monolith behind's moved up 6. This one's slower on movement 5. It wasn't critical damage, but Living Metal has recovered that. We'll just push that in, that's a 6. He's recovered it to 6 wounds, meaning he's back on moderate damage just there. That's all the movement now for Necrons. This is the units that they have. Wraith's gone, Scarab's gone, but still, there's 700 points of units still alive there. So still half the army alive and well here at the moment. We'll press on to their shooting phase next. Alright, so shooting phase complete here. This monolith firing through, this is the healthy one, has caused 4 wounds in total. On the flyer, the Dark Talon, so that will knock his ballistic skill down. It's on moderate damage just here. The other monolith was a sad tower here, been knocked down to hit, needing 5s. Did get some hits against Primaris Marines, but then failed to wound. And then the particle whip here caused no damage at all on the Whirlwind, so 0 damage from that monolith just there. It's alive, it looks a lot on the table, but it's had 0 impact this turn. That is shooting phase finished here. And just to mention, actually, the Cryptek fired up with his Staff of Light, but caused no damage. We'll go on to combats next. Tamun'Ra prepares to charge in with his War Scythe against the Bikers. Alright, so Tamun'Ra's made it in. We'll resolve this combat here, and obviously we've got the ongoing combat of Belial as well. Okay, so combat's resolved here. 2 more Necron warriors hewn down, and no damage done in return. So it doesn't look like it, but Belial here has killed a lot of models in this game, but because they keep reassembling, it doesn't look like he's done much. And then across here, the Bikers were killed. That's the War Scythe there of Tamun'Ra, accounting for 2 of them, and then 2 failed saves here, 1 and a 2 on the last sergeant. On the sergeant just there, that was wounds coming through for the Immortals. So the Bikers are gone. Primaris Marines took no damage, and they caused 1 wound in return. That is the combat's result. It's gone better for the Necrons here, especially having all of those Immortals come back into the fight, and then frustratingly the Necron warriors reassembling and pouring into the combat here as well against Belial. So not a bad turn here for the Necrons. The Flyer does remain alive. That Rift Cannon is still on the board, and the Vindicator here has not been contacted in combat. It's at a decent amount of wounds, and will be able to fire. Maybe he will try and finish off one of the monoliths this turn. So we'll see what Phil decides to do. We'll go now on to turn 5. This could be the last turn of the game. Okay, so movement complete here for the Dark Angels on turn 5. They're preparing for the game to end, just trying to make contingency plans for that. So Primaris Marines falling back onto the objective. And then here, Biker moving forwards, Captain moving forwards, getting ready to charge the Necron Immortals. Flyers pivoted, heading in this direction. Vindicators remain stationary just to get that +1. Or just to prevent the -1 to hit there. He's going to fire through, I think, against the Monolith. And then a blocking action across here. Pivoting the Flyer on 1 wound left across this way. That will prevent the Monolith from advancing further down the road. Pretty good move, that one. Just trying to protect the objective here, which the Primaris Marines have advanced, but they're still anchoring that objective there. Holding position with the Whirlwinds. That can fire at normal ballistic skill. Belial continues on in combat, and then that is about it. I think we've covered all the movement here. So it's a desperate stage of the game now for both sides as they try and secure objectives. Necrons aggressive here and doing well, but they're not on objectives. If the game ends, Dark Angels could secure a victory here. Tactically speaking, the Dark Angels are in a better position than Necrons. We'll go on to their psychic phase next. Okay, so Smite has gone off and killed one of the Necron Immortals, and then Aversion, the power, went off as well, just causing them to have -1 to hit. So that is psychic phase done. Shooting phase next. Okay, so shooting phase resolved here. It's been a good result here for the Dark Angels. So Biker firing through, Captain firing through as well, and then shots from this Flyer as well, reducing the Necron Immortals down to 2 left. And then Primaris Marines firing across from here did cause 2 wounds on the last 2 Necron Immortals. We rolled 2 threes to save, which I thought was enough, but oh no, AP -1 on their bolters. There's nothing we could do to stop it. It was the Primaris Marines that wiped out the Necron Immortals. That's such a crucial result because there's no reanimation protocols now. That unit was poised to reanimate and get back in the fight, but now they've been wiped out. They'll not be back. And Tamun'Ra, without any protection, stands alone now in the middle of the street and could well be charged here by Captain and the Librarian on the bike. So excellent result there for the Dark Angels. Then coming across here, 1 more wound dealt out there on the monolith. That was firepower coming through from the flyer just here. Whirlwind ineffective against it this turn. Not too bad at all. Monolith's still alive, but Necron's been thinned down seriously here, and the loss of the Immortals there will be badly felt. So, charges next. We'll see if Tamun'Ra can survive the oncoming vengeance here of the Dark Angels. Just to mention, as we're going on to assaults here, Vindicator did fire forwards. Here, cause 1 penetrating here. It's AP -3, but we did roll a 6 to save there with the monolith. Roll up some charges now on Overwatch. Alright, so onto charges here. Nothing Tamun'Ra could do to stop it. The biker's gone into combat, no problem at all. So those 2 will fight it out. Just interrupting charges here. Just to film this, the Primaris Marines have decided to charge the monolith. Now, there's a tactic behind it, and that is to silence it from shooting. The danger is 18 shots here on Overwatch, and this portal of exile that could open up to swallow them into who knows where. So, a roll of dice here. Oh no, we are damaged. We're knocked down to critical at the moment. So this will only work on a 6+ here to swallow up these Marines. No, alright, okay. Okay. So just regular Overwatch here. See if the Primaris Marines can survive. They should be fine. They should reach into combat and silence the monolith at least for a turn. Alright, so in they go. 2 wounds coming through, but 2 5s being rolled for saves from all of the Overwatch. They have made it into combat. That's mission accomplished for them. They've been unit of the turn. I think they've done very well. They've killed off the last 2 Immortals and then charged a monolith and have survived and lived to tell the tale. So we'll go on to combat resolution next here on turn 5 for the Dark Angels. Alright, so combat's resolved here. Belial hacking down 1. Primaris Marines charging in. They're doing no damage, just piling in 3 inches of them. And then look at this. Tamun'Ra's been run over here by an avenging blue librarian here on a bike. So they're meant to be blue though, aren't they? Yeah, they're meant to be blue. Okay. So expected Tamun'Ra fighting here, looking for green Dark Angels, but mesmerised here by a blue Dark Angel charging through the librarian with his force stave, caused 2 wounds. We failed our saves. It was AP -1, wasn't it? Rolled a 3 and a 2, yeah. And then it was D3 damage, rolled 2 6s, would you believe, and 6 wounds caused. Nothing Tamun'Ra could do about that. He's been hewn down by that weapon, and the biker's consolidated 3 inches. So what we were saying there, the useless librarian, a waste of points, has just ran over and slain the warlord here for the Dark Angels. So excellent result from him. I think the closer he gets, the better he gets. You're starting to use Smite, and then even with his weapon there, he's good. At long range, not doing very much the early turns of the game, but now he's got stuck in. He really has made an impact here. The Necrons have lost their warlord. That is big trouble for them. 1 monolith silenced and on bad damage. The game is tipping, which the game is slipping away from them here. 1 Cryptex stands. He now has to take over what's left. The 3 Necron warriors, at least, and the 1 monolith and the damaged one just there. So desperate situation. Remember, the game could end at the end of turn 5 here. We'll now go on to the 5th turn for the Necrons. Alright, so turn 5 here for the Necrons. Very difficult situation for them. Our attack in this direction really has ceased. I don't think we can take on these units here. There's a captain here. There's a librarian on a bike, Primaris Marines just there. I don't think, and the Vindicator. I don't think we can press forwards now with Necron warriors and the Cryptex. The Cryptex fallen back. 1 of the Necron warriors resurrected. In 4+ is rolling terribly there. It's just 1 of them's joined in the combat there against Belial. Kept them in combat. Going to go after other targets. here with the monoliths. Going to fire in this direction, at least with this one, and then just pulling back out of combat with the other. We're not in a position here to hold objectives at this stage. We're just going to take the risk that the game will continue, maybe try and put monoliths on the other two, but it's difficult here for the Necrons. We'll go on to their shooting phase next here on turn 5. Okay, so shooting phase is done. Fired the monolith through here, and we've brought down, fired everything at the Primaris Marines, but they're 2 wounds each, just absorbing damage pretty good, and still getting a 5+ save as well, because it's only AP -2 with those weapons. 1 Primaris Marine brought down, and the other on a wound. Then here, we're going to fire the Cryptek with Staff of Light in this direction, but we can't. The closest model is the Belial just there, so we can't fire that. There wasn't any other targets nearby. That is shooting phase finished. We'll go on to assaults next for the Necrons on turn 5. Okay, so Cryptek's charged in. Can do some damage with Staff of Light just there, so he's going to go into combat just here against Belial. Combat resolution here. Cryptek did hit but failed to wound just there on Belial, and then he was struck back by the blade and took 2 wounds himself. Kept the Necron Warriors alive though, they weren't touched, but he's half dead, and that's combat's resolved. So yeah, Necron's definitely on the back foot here, so Dark Angels have done well. We'll roll up now to see if we go on to another turn, otherwise the game will end here on a 1 or a 2. We will get a turn 6. Right, so turn 6 coming up next for the Dark Angels. Right, so movement done, pivoting with the flyer, heading off in that direction. They have been excellent this game, both of them staying alive and laying down a blanket of fire here for the Dark Angels. Just hold position here. This one, the Vindicator does have an angle to fire through at the monolith just here, so he hasn't moved. Just going to keep him at normal ballistic skill. Primaris Marines anchoring this objective. Across the other side is within 3 inches here with the Whirlwind, holding this objective. Primaris Marines still chasing the monolith here to try and charge it again and silence it for another turn. And then down here, the Bikers move through. Victorious after slaying Tamun'Ra, now seeks to take on the Necrons and Cryptek down here to aid Belial in his fight. And then running as fast as he can down the street as well, the Captain with his sword. Hasn't even used his sword yet, has he? So he's desperate to try and kill at least something in this game. So he's advanced and not be able to charge this turn, but making good progress down the road. And then the other flyer here has moved across in this direction. So that's movement done. On to Psychic phase next for the Dark Angels on turn 6. Alright, so Psychic phase here, and just keep it off camera just to reveal to you in a moment what's happened. But it all started quite normal. With Smite being cast, Necron Warrior brought down, and then this happened. So it takes a bit of explanation here. So I tried to cast Diversion, did go off, but it went off on a double 6. So then rolled D3 mortal wounds for a peril, and rolled a 6, so destroying himself. And then in the process, other units within 6 took D3 mortal wounds. A wound here on the Captain, 1 more wound here on the Necron Warriors. Cryptek took 2 wounds and died, and then a 6 rolled, 3 more wounds there on Belial. He died as well, so would you believe it? A moment of glory just here, and then a meltdown here as he tried to charge in and win the game. So Psychers are good, but they're a bit volatile here. The Warlord's just been slain by his own exploding Librarian. So just saying here in this game, Phil's been plagued here by perils rolls. He's rolled a double 1 during this game, and then 2 lots of double 6s, and that's why the Librarian's been so volatile in this game. Yeah, that's the other thing. Every wound the Librarian took in this game was inflicted by himself, so definitely back. I was going to say go back to training school there for the Psychers, but he's killed himself before that's even possible. So Psychic phase finished. Bizarre twist here, right at the very end of the game. We'll go on to Shooting phase next, here for the Dark Angels on turn 6. Okay, so shooting resolved here. Vindicator firing through. One of the rounds did penetrate, or 2 rounds penetrated. Rolled a 6 to save one of them, but one of them caused 5 wounds, so knocking that down there on the monolith, down to 15 wounds remaining. Tried to kill the last Necron Warrior here. Whirlwind rounds coming through, trying to finish it off. Needing 6s here with this flyer. Couldn't shoot here with the Captain. Stormbolter from on top here. Primaris Marines firing through as well, but still 1 defiantly remains here. And then 1 wound picked up as Primaris Marines firing through, a wound caused on the other monolith. That is shooting phase finished. Across here, the flyer maximum range 24, so out of range with him. We'll go on to combats. I don't think there's any here. Captain can't charge, he advanced. Oh yes, there is. Can't see because of this big tower in the way. But round here, Primaris Marines preparing to charge in again against this monolith, trying to silence it here as they go in. So he's knocked the profile down there. That'll mean on a 6, that would have been a 5 or a 6 for that portal to open up. On a 6, we'll see if it opens up here as he charges. Nope. Alright, so just resolve Overwatch here, see if we can hit with the shooting weapons. So charges have gone ahead. One Primaris Marine brought down as a particle whip hit coming through, but 3 of them have made it in. I saw that the portal didn't open up, so they have successfully silenced. We'll let Phil roll up his attacks here as well. So it didn't freeze. Primaris Marines have done well in this game. It's the 2 wounds really helping them out, makes them nice and durable. No wounds though, needing 6s, strength 4, toughness 8. And then we just rolled up there for the monolith, no hits back in combat. So that melee is resolved. That marks the end of the turn. That's turn 6 finished. I think the Necrons are finished as well. Monoliths still remain alive. This one here still on full strength. As far as shooting is concerned, it has taken damage, but still on regular shooting for him. And we could resurrect a whole load of Necron Warriors. We'll go on to the 6th turn now for the Necrons here. Okay, so movement done here for the Necrons, resurrecting 4 more Necron Warriors and falling back onto this objective. They're just within 3, so we'll count as holding that one if the game ends. Pulling back 5 inches restored, a wound with living metal, so 6 wounds remaining. You have to say that the monoliths are pretty durable here. And just heading back, remember there is an objective just down there. And then here, going to hold position with this one and going to try and kill those Primaris Marines just there. So that is movement done. On to shooting next for the Necrons on turn 6. So we'll shoot here with the monolith. Could be the last bit of shooting for the game. So trying to go after these Primaris Marines. There's 3 of them left. Particle Whip. Now we need 5s because of the psychic power that's on us at the moment. We then need 2s. They're all wounded here. Phil really will need to make some saves here. 5+. Try and prevent some of these from going through. Stops 1. Okay, so the first one causes, it's a cock dice, a whole 3 wounds, so 1 Primaris brought down. The next one causes 2 wounds, that's another one. Then now we can, well, the sergeant will die because we rolled a 5, yeah. So gone. All of a sudden, the monolith has wiped out the Primaris Marines just there. A bit of vengeance. It serves them right for chasing monoliths down the street. They've finally been electrocuted. But brave stuff for the Primaris Marines. It is a new generation of Space Marines here, and they have done very well indeed. We'll resolve the rest of the shooting here. This one can't fire, but the Necron Warriors can shoot. Right, so the rest of the shooting here, we were going to fire at the captain, but we had to fire at closest. Can't fire at him because he's not closest, so we fired at the flyer instead. Did get 2 wounds, and remember it's only on 1 wound remaining. Phil failed both of those saves, and it's come crashing down. Just get the model on just for the looks of it here as it's crashed down the street. Finally here, it's taken till turn 6 to bring the flyers down. So equally as the monoliths have been durable here, the flyers have done very well here for the Dark Angels, but a sudden flurry of success here for the Necrons. Primaris Marines gone, flyer brought down for them, but it may be too little, too late for them. They're only holding 1 objective at this stage. So combats, there's none, charges none. We're going to hold the objective just here, and that will mark the end of turn 6 for the Necrons. So we're going to roll up here to see if the game continues. We'll get a turn 7, but it'll need a 4+. We'll let Phil roll up here. 4+. No, he rolls a 1. So the game does finish here on turn 6. I think the Dark Angels have it. Both sides have caused a fair amount of damage against each other, but not as bad as other games. Still a fair amount left on the table. Necrons, would you believe, were still about 800 points worth. Yep, about 800 points worth of their army still on the table. Those 2 monoliths there, 380 points each, and then plus those Necron Warriors. But their attack failed. It was a steady advance, but it was dealt with by the Dark Angels. And then tactically, the Dark Angels went for a spread of play, and it's worked out for them. They've anchored this objective and the other, and that will bring them victory. We'll get an exact score in points now. Okay, so points for the Necrons here. 3 points. The Warlord was slain, doesn't matter by who, so that counts as Warlord kill. So 4 points for the Necrons, and then 3 points here for the Dark Angels, 3 points for the other objective just out of sight. It is being held there by the Whirlwinds. That's 6-4 the score. Tamun'Ra was slain, that's 7-4, and then First Blood is 8-4 here for the Dark Angels. So actually, pretty convincing win for them. So still plenty of Necrons left on the table, at least hardware wise, but here tactically the Dark Angels have secured more objectives and they have won the game. So a debut here for Dark Angels, a debut for Primaris Space Marines as well, and both have performed very well indeed in this game. But a big thank you to Phil for coming down. I finally got him on the channel. He's a member here at SSWG Wargames Club. You can check out their website, sswg.co.uk. Loads of online galleries, and you're welcome to come down the club as well if you're in the local area. And if you want to support the club as well, check out the Patreon page there on the channel homepage. But excellent game, really enjoyable. Hope to see the Dark Angels make an appearance again, but maybe we'll beat them next time. We'll see. But they've done very well. They've achieved victory here in this urban fight. Dark Angels have victory against the Necrons. Great game, very enjoyable indeed. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Alright, so units of the game here. I'm going to give it to the monoliths for their survivability. They were restricted. Movement in this urban area, they were restricted by that. And then when they tried to deep strike down, they had to be 12 inches away. And just the way Phil's army was spread across the table, it limited where they could go. So they were restricted that way, but they caused a lot of damage, absorbed a lot of damage. They did do well. And then it is the Dark Talon for Phil here. This flyer in particular did well. The nasty rift cannon that it has, causing lots of trouble. So that's units of the game for both sides.